Hi Nancy, Christine Deaver here. Listen, I was just headed out to the gym, but I just wanted to stop and wish you a congratulations on 10 years with Art Zone, baby. 10 years! It seems like just the other day you were 4, but you don't look a day over 9. So congratulations, and to many, 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 many more years. Art Phil, darling. Congratulations. Mwah!
Hello, hello.
Hit it, hit it.
Hi there and welcome to the show. I'm Nancy Guppy here at beautiful Georgetown Stables, and we have a terrific lineup for you. Take a look. Matt's Movie Minute. Poet Maia Pody.
I wish to wake up in foam, swirling tessellations enveloping me.
A Halloween classic.
People will be sitting in a theater and they're going to be 5 feet away from him, and he is feral and he is carnal and he's smart.
And music from Beverly Crusher.
You should be scared.
We'll begin with Thaddeus Turner, a phenomenal musician and a dedicated mentor who navigates the world with charm, grace, and impeccable style.
My name is Thaddeus Turner. I'm a musician, father, teaching artist, producer, arranger, songwriter, all of the above, yeah.
Ready? I am on the mall.
Thaddeus is kind of my musical identity.
The house is blue, the car, Thaddeus, the girl, sexy, my top hat, so the keys, my wallet, now I'm out the door. Woo! He's gone. The questions, the answers, and fame, success, I'm not afraid at all. I had clean drawers on and a crystal ball.
One time I showed up late to a gig and I was driving this old black sedan. It was the old Cadillac DeVille, 1992. And my brother said, "It's a bird, it's a plane, no, it's Cadillac." And everybody started laughing. You know, after that point, I'm synonymous with Cadillac. I'm also the musical director for Diggable Planets. My first musical experience was actually banging on pots and pans in the kitchen. My dad played piano for church, so there was a piano in the house, saxophone, trombone, drums, guitar and basses, all kind of different instruments around the house. People think that I'm primarily a guitar player, but I use each instrument as a tool to write songs. Right now, we're in the building where Totem Star is housed. Our whole thing is to empower youth voices through music. I'm a teaching artist and also co-founded with Daniel Pock.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Daniel. Beautiful.
Daniel Beautiful.
Most luxurious hair in the world.
Luxurious, bro.
Pock.
Yes. Let's see what they're doing.
Totem Star got its start through the Juvenile Rehabilitation Administration. We were asked to provide a program for youth that had just been released from juvenile detention. After we finished that programming, a third of the kids ended up reoffending and going back. So right then and there, we knew there was a need. One thing that we say when you come through the doors of Totem Star, that's your family. Totem Star. Totem meaning family, star meaning something shining bright. So your family's shining bright. I think after a while, all the youth artists feel that. Well, I'm working on a beat here, but next door we have Kidis McCloud. Every superhero needs a nemesis. I'm his nemesis. He goes by Kidis Perfecto, and I made up my own tag, and it's Thaddeus Klepto, and I steal all his beats. Yo, Kidis, this beat is dope right here. This is my beat.
No, it's not. Psych.
This ain't no Thaddeus Klepto beat.
No, this is Kid Inspector.
It's Kid Inspecto?
Yeah.
Not Thaddeus Klepto.
Not Thaddeus Klepto.
All right, all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, cool. I still think that's my beat, though. Totem Star is a youth-ran record label, basically. And it's more like we're creating partnership with each youth artist and giving them mentorship along the way also, so that they can become stronger people in their communities. Hey, we're hanging out in Totem Star Studios. We got Desun here. Kid is on the beat, Desun on the mic. This is what we do. The ability to get the kids to focus and write material and tell their stories was instrumental. We were able to produce 3 mixtapes: Reality, Respect the Vibe, Resistance. Each and every mixtape has their personal stories, their personal complaints, their victories, and everything. Sometimes a youth artist will say to me, well, I just don't have anything right now. I said, well, if you keep on working right now, it will come. The inspiration happens within the work. You have to create inspiration in every moment. If you can push through that threshold, there's light shining at the end of that tunnel. You know, I really believe that.
Thank you. Good night.
Thaddeus performs at various venues around town. Google him for specific dates and learn more about Totem Star at totemstar.org.
I want your fear.
'Tis the season for spooky stories, and one of the classics, Bram Stoker's Dracula, currently freaking out audiences at ACT, is an exciting and bold reimagining from playwright Stephen Dietz, who has written more than 30 plays, including the Pulitzer Prize-nominated Last of the Boys and the Steinberg Award finalist Becky's New Car. I sat down with Stephen on the Dracula set to find out why this story needed an update. Well, Stephen Dietz, you are a world-renowned playwright, certainly beloved in this town, and I think, is it 12 productions here at ACT?
This is the 12th, Dracula's the 12th production here at this theater.
7th world premiere?
7th world premiere, yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
congratulations.
So well, thank you. I'm extraordinarily grateful for this theater's commitment to me over all these years. I certainly could not have expected that 31 years ago. So.
Oh, that's pretty great. So before we dive into this production, for anyone unfamiliar with Dracula, what's the basic storyline?
Basic story is Count Dracula, who we know sort of famously is living in Transylvania, and he is aged and he is starving and he's wanting blood and he's all alone. So sadly, a young London solicitor comes to sell him the deed to a house in London. So he comes to London, and upon coming to London, he meets up with that solicitor's fiancée, who's the character of Mina, meets up with an inmate in the asylum, Renfield, the head of the asylum, Seward, and that small group of people are charged with trying to find out the mystery of what is happening to these women, and they're charged with trying to track him down and end his life. And ending a vampire's life is a complicated thing, as you know.
Not easy to do.
Not easy to do.
Now, you first adapted Dracula, was it 1996?
1996.
Okay, and it's been produced certainly around the country, maybe around the world, hugely successful. Why did you want to rework the story?
I really thought that Bram Stoker was done with me. I really thought I enjoyed doing that sort of traditional, straightforward adaptation 25 years ago. Yeah. But John Langs here at ACT Theater was still interested in the story, and he essentially didn't ask me to write this new version, but he sort of challenged me to look at it again. And upon looking at it again, I realized I'm a different playwright than I was 25 years ago. We're in a different time than we were 25 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I re-engaged with the story, and I began to see a way to tell it from a slightly different angle.
So the new adaptation, it's subtitled Mina's Quest.
Yes.
Correct. So unpack that, starting a little bit about who exactly is Mina.
And Mina is the essentially the heroine of the novel. She's essentially the victim of the novel. She's the young woman that becomes Dracula's goal. And so in a Victorian age, she is going to be a victim, essentially. She's going to be, the men in the play are going to, in sort of Victorian mansplaining. They're going to surround her and say, "Here's what's going on." The novel is a mystery thriller. I got interested as I worked in the fact that what if Mina has to figure out the things that in my previous adaptation the men told her? What if she has to become the detective of the story in which she herself is the victim?
Well, and we talked a little bit earlier that the way you've rewritten Mina, it could be viewed a little bit as a response to the hashtag #MeToo.
Yeah.
Would that be correct at all?
I think it's not completely that black and white.
Yeah.
But I think it's but I don't think it's inaccurate. We inherit these stories. We inherit Jane Austen. We inherit Frankenstein. We inherit Dracula. We inherit these stories, but we can only view them through our one slice of time.
Right.
We will never be able to see this story in another time than our own. And so therefore, I think our own time has to color our adaptations.
Sure. Now, the production features an all-star lineup of Seattle actors.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon O'Neill plays the title role.
Oh, my gosh.
Blood of my blood. Flesh of my flesh.
Those fangs, first of all, look bizarrely natural.
He looks pretty good in fangs, doesn't he?
Very good in fangs.
Yeah.
Does he bring qualities to Dracula that are new, that we haven't maybe seen before?
I would say yes. I would also wonder how many times people have seen Dracula in a room in the theater. It's so iconic in terms of popular culture. But people will be sitting in a theater and they're going to be 5 feet away from him, and he is feral, and he is carnal, and he's smart, and he's all these things that Brandon is as an actor. But then it's almost that you would hope sometimes as a playwright that you would make a role that will unleash an actor.
You shall know him soon.
Now, the cast also includes a musician on the stage. What does the element of live music bring to a production, from your perspective?
Oh, I just think it's another voice in the play. This is a 7-character play ensemble piece, but the musician and this amazing cello that she plays adds this 8th voice that I think it unifies. And as much as I am a wordsmith, music always wins.
Did you have any input into the overall look, the costumes, the set, the lighting?
Absolutely, but
You'd come in and say, no.
No, well, it's probably slipperier than that.
Yeah.
In that John, I think, just saw this production in his head, maybe even before I had written this adaptation. He said to me, "I'm going to honor everything you write." He's been completely supportive of that, but he said, "I got to tell you, there's things I see." I really, between you and I and everyone watching, I mean, honestly, I think he understands the play better than I do, and it shows up in the production.
So there's a content advisory to the audience that the play includes, quote, epic amounts of stage blood and gore. So translate epic amounts. Are we talking pints? Are we talking quarts, gallons?
I think it's more. I think I'm going to say it's more tactical than that. So I would say that there are particular moments that are epic, and those moments contain blood.
I am everywhere.
Promo video for the play is it's drenched in blood. How does the prop department create that? And what's the recipe for that really, really authentic look?
I'm sure it's like the recipe to Coke, and I can't tell you. Well, not only how do they create it, how do they make it look so realistic? Totally. How do they wash it out of the clothes at night?
Right.
How does it get on stage? How do the actors use it? It would not surprise you to learn how many, that there have been, I'm sure, thousands of emails sent by members of this theater to each other about all of these things, because it doesn't just, it affects everybody. It affects the microphones, it affects the sound, it affects the floor.
Right.
This is when it's easier and probably cheating to just be the playwright. And I go, it was real easy to type.
Yeah.
You know, the
Now
blood just
go do it.
comes. The blood just comes. You know, it took me a second to type it, you all.
Yeah, right.
But I'm just
But they've seen it
I'm
to
just in
fruition.
awe of how they've solved this and to use it. And again, it's different in the theater than seeing that
Of course.
on TV or on
Right,
film.
on film. Now, Dracula is obviously meant to be scary, but you've incorporated humor into
Yes,
the play.
absolutely.
So how do you keep the comedy from undercutting the fright factor?
I don't think of it as a binary. I don't think they're opposites. You really, in my opinion, and I'm fascinated by thrillers and these kind of stories, you can't affect someone until you invite them, and nothing invites like humor. So early on in the play, a lot of the work of the story and of the play is not jokes per se, but it's the warmth. And if we bank that humor early, we can spend that on terror later.
You can, yeah, people will go a lot of places.
Absolutely.
With
The
humor,
play, the story is not. This is not spoof. This is not camp. There's really fun camp versions of Dracula out there. This is not that. It takes the notion seriously that a pure man, we're told of Dracula, this character of Dracula, a pure man turned evil. And John, as I said, takes that notion very seriously. But if I want you to hear that story, I'm going to invite you in with, some lines that loosen you up. Yeah.
Right. Well, congratulations. And Dracula runs now through November 17th on the Falls Theater stage at ACT. Ticket information is at acttheater.org. I feel like I should bite you right now.
I'm scared.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Terrific.
Did we do what we were supposed to do?
That was fabulous.
All right.
I wish to wake up in foam, swirling tessellations enveloping me, from my bedhead to the soles of my feet, suds dripping softly on my bedspread, trailing behind me as I awake and move through my home. Grown-ups would wait for my bubbly body to disappear before they whispered behind their hands that there was no foam when they were young, and that they are perplexed by my offenses and disregard for conventions. They would not understand that all the rules are written in the swirling systems surrounding me. Children would fall in love with my bright, muted voice and think that I was funny and emptily beautiful. Every night as I slept, the foam would knit itself into another cocoon, and I would wake every morning with a new diagram of honeycomb patterns, winding around me and through me, until I am no more than foam, until I am no less. And no one could blame me for anything. She is just a tourist attraction, they'd say. Don't expect her to be anything more. I would melt into the sea and be complete.
Man, we are delighted to welcome Beverly Crusher to the show. Cozell Wilson, hi.
Hey, what's going on?
Not
How are
much,
you?
great to see you. So why don't you introduce the guys, the brothers, back here starting on the drums.
Oh yeah, on drums here, we got Sam Styles.
Hello, Sam. Nice hat, by the way.
Thank you.
And over here?
And over here on bass, we got Max Styles.
Yep.
I know his name.
You know his name. Yeah, you guys are good friends. So then what's the story behind the title of the band, the name of the band?
Well, Beverly Crusher is a doctor from Star Trek: The Next Generation. Very powerful woman.
And then I just slapped him. Really hard.
I like Star Trek: The Next Generation, and her last name is Crusher, and that's pretty rock and roll. So.
That's completely rock and roll. It's a perfect word for a band. So I love this line from your Bandcamp page. Riff heavy with obnoxious solos and whiny lyrics about ex-girlfriends and devil worship. Very funny. Did you write that?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
And you write most of the lyrics, is that correct?
I do.
Yeah. You got a fantastic sense of humor. So listen to the titles of their albums. The first one in 2015, Cheeseburger Liquor Party, Sounds good to me. Second one, Pills, Pills, Pills in 2016.
It's true.
Those are fabulous titles. And both of those record covers feature the actress B. Arthur. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Who is into Maude? Who she, of course, was the lead character in Maude.
I'm into Golden Girls.
Oh, the Golden Girls, of course. Well, who isn't into Golden Girls?
Right, exactly.
Right. Oh, it's such a great reference.
Yeah.
I love that. Now, I know you're working on album number 3
We are.
currently. Is there anything with the songs on the new record that's, I don't know, slightly different or new direction or anything?
I think we've strayed away from the whole like devil worshiping funny part, and we're more we're like we're in our 30s now, and we just want to have fun before we can't carry these amps anymore. So we're just
kind of lightening it up.
Yeah, lightening it up a little bit and making it more accessible to everybody, so everybody can have fun.
Excellent.
And everybody can enjoy Beverly Crusher.
Will B. Arthur be on the front of this cover?
That is to be determined.
We will not know that yet. Okay, we'll keep you informed on that. All right, so you're going to play us a couple of songs off of the new To Come record.
Sure.
And what is up first?
Up first, we're going to play our smash hit single, Scared.
It is a smash hit. I know it is. Okay, are you ready to do it? Yeah. Ready? You ready?
Ready. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, they are Beverly Crusher.
Scared.
Catch Beverly Crusher live at the 7th Annual Freakout Festival, a wildly fun 3-day event happening November 14 through 17, featuring over 60 bands performing at multiple venues in the heart of beautiful downtown Ballard. More information, including how to get tickets, is on the festival website.
Hi, I'm Matt Lynch, and this is your Movie Minute. Today I want to tell you about one of my favorite films. You can find it on VHS under the title In Hot Pursuit, but its original title was Polk County Pot Plane. It's a completely bizarre regional car chase movie from 1977, and it's based on a true story. In 1975, some guys landed DC-5 plane on the top of a mountain in Georgia loaded with pot. They all got arrested, but the government didn't know what to do with the plane. It was too expensive to haul off and nobody could fly it, except a local politician named Jim West, who bought the plane, bought the land, enlarged the runway on the top of the mountain, and flew the plane off himself. Then he made a movie about it.
There goes dynamite.
In this movie, Jim West plays the pilot of the plane, and the real plane itself is the one in the movie. It's a huge, crazy stunt film made on a super low budget, basically in people's backyards. It's Smokey and the Bandit for the price of a rusted out used car. It's amazing, and you can only find it on tape. All right, so you can find In Hot Pursuit, AKA Polk County Pot Plane, up here in the Redneck section, only on VHS. My name is Matt, and that was your Movie Minute.
An event recently came across our radar that we wouldn't normally promote on Art Zone, but because of the topic, compassion, we felt it was something that you should know about. So here is Mr. Kevin Joyce with the details.
Hey Art Zone, how about the art of being a better human being? The upcoming Compassionate Leadership Summit brings together regional innovators in the art of applying compassion and mindfulness to workplaces, communities, and our personal lives. We'll explore tools for improving communication in organizations and between people at a time when we really seem to need it. It's 2 days of interactive learning with leaders and trainers and university students and the general public in applications for business, for social justice work, in communities of faith and families, education and government and healthcare. How are we doing in creating a more compassionate city? No, really, how are we doing? And what can we do together to make a more sustainable, equitable, and compassionate community? It's all happening at the University of Washington, November 8th and 9th. Check it out.
And that's a wrap. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great week, and we'll see you real soon. Art Zone is filmed on location at Georgetown Stables, the coolest event space in Seattle. More information is at georgetownstables.com.